Welcome back. Still watching Business Morning live on Channels Television. Now to our next conversation. Report from the Nigerian Ports Authority shows a total of 849,020 equivalent units of containerized imports were received in the Nigerian ports for the first 6 months of 2022. The seaports also received a total of 1,992 ships with an aggregate gross registered tonnage of 60.2 million tons within the period under review. To discuss this and other matters, we have Dr. Kayode Farintol, the acting national president of Association of Nigeria Licensed Customs Agents. Join us right here in the studio. Great to have you on the program, sir.
It's not easy. The pleasure is mine. Thank you very much.
So, looking at this data now, would you say there's an improvement, for the H1 results we just saw for containerized imports?
Well, it depends on how we're looking at it. There are a lot of factors that are militating against cargo imports in Nigeria. I wouldn't say there's an increase. I will only say there's a decline. The volume of cargo in Nigeria is declining in the last 24 months as a result of many factors, human factors, bureaucracy here and there, and even government policy herself. And the fact that Naira continues to slide on a daily basis, and we don't even have consistent policy here and there. So the role of CBN too cannot be cannot just be overlooked, because CBN is not encroaching on fiscal policy, which is affecting importation of cargo. We have over 48 items on forex prohibition list that they cannot access forex. These people are still going to black market. Bringing them in is a problem. So even when they bring them in, the issue of declaration and hearing. So there are too many things. I would say it's a decline. It's not an increase. It depends on where the source of the data. It's only MPA. MPA is a genuine agency that can give us the actual data.
Yeah.
So if it's not a decline, then I want to say that 40% of these containers are raw materials, unlike what we normally have before now. They are raw materials for all these multinationals and these producing companies like Liver Brothers, Nigerian breweries here and there. So there's no eureka. I must tell you that it's not encouraging, and that's why government needs to come out and look at the issue of maritime policy. For now, we need to have a clear cut on how do we move forward. Harnessing our maritime industry, Nigerian government can make billions of naira, but now it's undertapped, and that is very, very bad.
Potential as usual, I guess. But I learned yesterday your association visited the Lekki deep sea port and appealed for a provision of freight forwarders village for customs brokers. So I'm wondering if this is actually, if you move ahead with this, what can we expect?
Yeah, if you look at before now, Nigeria has lost over 45% of our cargo to Lome, because they have deep sea port there, and we do not have that. The draft in Nigerian seaport now is about 12 meters, meaning that when you have heavy vessels, they can't bat on our waterways. Lekki Deep Sea is a very good project that can bring in over 14.5 meter, and to the even extent of 60-meter draft. That means very heavy vessels can call on our waterways. So it's an encouragement, and it's an investment that is about $1.5 or $1.6 billion. So we have significant role to play. When you bring in this cargo, who does the clearing? The freight forwarders and the custom broker. So we need to look at it. We wrote to them and said, let us look at your facility. It's going to be a model port. If Nigerian factor does not come in, we have advised them yesterday, it's going to be an automated port where cargoes just come in like a transit, and before you know it, they get to the consignees well. So we also have a serious role to play in the economy of this country. So we had to advise them, you need a freight forwarders village, because if we are clearing this cargo, you need to at least house us, and that is where we can operate from. So there's need for the deep sea ports to have a freight forwarders village. It's very, very important.
Quite interesting. We'll keep watching and see how that develops. But when you had that visit yesterday, there was some issue trending. I'm digressing a bit now. I saw something trending about some kind of takeover at your secretariat. What was that about?
Yes, it is unfortunate. Yesterday was a day that I don't want to remember. I was very sad. ANACA is a professional body, and it belongs to professionals. We were on a national assignment, and to see how our members will be better off. Some of our members who have been expelled from the association, they were actually our former board of trustee members. Their tenure expired, and when there were a lot of illegalities and misdemeanor, There was a NEC meeting. NEC comprises of all associations from the north, south, and east and west. And they took a decision that they should be expelled. We were on that road when we learned that they broke into our secretariat under the guise that they have a letter from the Commissioner of Police to have a meeting in our secretariat. And unfortunately, when this thing happened the last time, we made the CP to know that we're in court with these people, and there's a judgment, even a court judgment, that said that this thing should be implemented. There was a directive from the CG and from the IG of Police that these people should be tried, but unfortunately, the CP of Police, water it down and, play to the gallery. I wouldn't want to blame him. What he was trying to do then was to do a kind of alternative dispute resolution. And he tried it, and we gave them our conditions, what we can allow. And the man said we should liaise with his area commander. So we have two police officers 24/7 at our national secretariat. So for them to have now encroached on that secretariat, break in the key, and forcefully have access to our secretariat, looted a lot of things, and even spoiled a lot of vehicles, called for question. And that is why the CP of Police has questions to answer. These are Lilliputians who are sitting on the giant on the shoulder of a giant. If not for the fact that they are using state machinery, you know what it will cost. And as I talk to you now, because our members are already calling from every nooks and cranny that they are coming to that secretariat. If there's any breakdown of law and order, I don't know what the police will have to say or what they want to tell Nigerians. So that mistake actually is from the CP of Police for Lagos State, because by virtue of his position as an umpire must make sure that he oversees everything and there is no breakdown of law and order.
I guess we'll also be getting reactions.
Yeah, I hope so. But it's very, very unfortunate, because it just looks as if somebody is now going to the CP of Customs saying that they want to have meeting in Channel's property. The first question, if I were the CP, to ask is that, are you now saying that there's nobody in Channels that is actually occupying that office? So these are the things, the due diligence was not done, and these people now capitalize on that and, brought outside policemen that cannot even be identified, spoiled.
So I'm guessing this is some kind of political issue, but I hope it gets resolved so that you guys can carry out.
It does, because we have a mandate,
yes,
and that our tenure expires next year, April, because it's not a 5-year tenure, single tenure for any executive term of the association. Okay. So we just want to implore the CP to ensure that it does the due diligence. This is a period that is very, very delicate in our political edition. People who have ulterior motive may want to give him wrong information on issues like this. Let him go a step further by doing the finding. That's why he has his area commander and the DPOs who that we relate to on a daily basis. And unfortunately, he has his men that are posted to our secretariat. So I don't want to believe that we're in Banana Republic. That is where things like this will happen. We're in national assignment, we're not at the secretariat, and we just saw all this embarrassment.
Okay, I hope this gets resolved as soon as possible. Let's move to another quick matter now. Yeah. I saw that Ghana and 7 other African countries have already moved ahead, with the first AFCFTA trade, under the trade agreement. Quite interesting. They're moving ahead, at fast pace. But what do you think Nigeria should be doing now to accelerate?
What Nigeria should be doing is consultation, which we are doing. I'm a member of the National Committee that this woman, barrister, I've forgotten her name, she's representing the federal government. All we have to do is to make sure we speak to the various government agencies, which they are doing. After committee is coming up with a lot of idea, we need to know which agency issues certificate of origin. And the federal government has actually given that to, I think, Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment to issue certificate of origin. So when it comes to the issue of African Free Trade Continental Agreement, I want to advise government to, if it is possible, let us create a committee or a ministry, rather, for that particular, because if care is not taken, Nigeria will be turned to a dumping ground. So that we dot the T's and cross the I's. Because a lot of things, we are signatory to that convention, and whether you like it or not, African countries will start bringing goods into their country, and you cannot tell them no. So there are too many issues, before you know it, we have an anti-dumping law, even in UK, that was used, and even despite the fact that UK was a member of the EU then, there are a lot of things that UK will tell you is not possible. So we need to dust the T and cross the I by having a ministry that will oversee this particular, because it's a very lofty thing that will happen to African countries. But how prepared are we? The freight forwarders on our part were prepared. to sea, to receive any goods from any place, part of the world. But what we do not want is a situation where our economy will suffer when Nigerian economy becomes a dumping ground.
Right. It'd be good to see us actually, pull out some trades under that agreement, and the whole of Africa actually taking the agreement seriously. Thank you so much, Dr. Kayode Farrington, Acting National President, ANLC. It was great having you on the program today.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. All right, so after the break, commodities market update is next. Do stay with us. This is Business Morning.